there was a girl named Ella. She lived with her father, a gentle merchant who traveled often but always returned with a small gift. A ribbon, a book, a seashell he found across the seas. Ella's mother had passed away years earlier, but not before leaving her daughter with a simple lesson. Where there is kindness, Ella, there is magic. Ella carried that lesson in her heart like a flame that never dimmed. When Ella was about 16, her father remarried a woman named Lady Tremaine, who had 2 daughters, Drizella and Anastasia. At first, they tried to behave kindly, but their smiles were thin, their compliments sharp, and their hearts colder than the marble floors they walked on. One winter, Ella's father set out on another journey. He waved from his horse, promising to return before the first snow melted. But the snow melted, and he did not return. A message arrived instead. He had fallen ill and passed away on the road. Ella's world cracked quietly. There was no dramatic cry, no collapse, just a silent, trembling ache that swallowed her whole. Lady Tremaine took over the household, and slowly, almost invisibly at first, she began stripping Ella of everything she loved. Her room, her clothes, her little desk by the window, her rightful place. Until one morning, Ella awoke to find her bed replaced with an attic cot and all her tasks written on a long scroll. "Someone must keep this house running," Lady Tremaine said coolly. "And you, my dear, have always been helpful." Helpful. That was the beginning. Days turned into years. Ella scrubbed, washed, polished, cooked, fetched firewood, mended dresses, and endured endless insults from her stepsisters. They laughed at the ashes on her cheeks. "Look at her, our little Cinderella." The name stuck. Though her body grew tired, her heart remained gentle. In the quiet attic at night, she whispered stories to the mice who lived in the rafters, her only friends. She fed them crumbs and named them Gus, round and clumsy; Jock, small but brave; Mary, sweet and calm. They listened to her dreams, her fears, her hopes, and somehow the attic didn't feel so empty anymore. One bright spring morning, the kingdom came alive with excitement. Trumpets echoed through the marketplace. A royal messenger rode through town announcing, "By order of King Roland, a grand ball shall be held at the palace. All maidens of the kingdom are invited. His Royal Highness, Prince Aidan, shall choose a bride." Ella's heart fluttered. A ball? Music? Candles? Dresses? A night of magic she had only dreamed of. Her stepsisters erupted with shrieks of excitement. "Mother, you must buy us gowns." "I need new jewels." "I want a dress with gold embroidery." Ella smiled timidly. "May I go too?" Lady Tremaine paused. "You," she said slowly, as if tasting the word. "Well, if you finish all your chores, and if—" her eyes flicked to the nasty old dress Ella wore, "you find something decent to wear." Her stepsisters cackled. But for the first time in a long time, Ella felt hope. That night, after finishing her endless chores, Ella crept to the attic and opened a small chest. Inside was her mother's dress, simple but elegant, with soft pink stitching along the sleeves. "It's lovely," she whispered. With the help of the mice and her bird friends, she transformed it. They stitched ribbons, added beads, and smoothed the delicate fabric. Her heart soared. She would go to the ball. She would dance. She would feel alive again. The night of the ball arrived. Carriages rolled through the gates. Lanterns lit every street. Music floated across the kingdom. Ella rushed downstairs in her mother's dress. Lady Tremaine's eyes widened, not with admiration, but with cold jealousy. Anastasia gasped. "Those are my beads!" Drizella shrieked. "That ribbon is mine!" Before Ella could speak, they tore at her dress like wild animals. Ribbons ripped, beads snapped, fabric shredded. Ella stood trembling, her dream destroyed in seconds. Lady Tremaine adjusted her daughter's gowns. "Come, girls, we mustn't be late." The door slammed behind them, and Ella ran into the garden, collapsing near the old oak tree. Her sobs shook her body. "I tried to be kind. I tried so hard." The stars above her blurred through her tears. The wind shifted. Soft light glowed around her. And suddenly, a gentle voice said, "Why are you crying, child?" Ella looked up. A woman, wrapped in silver light, stood before her holding a shimmering staff. Her hair glowed like the moon, and her eyes were warm as candlelight. I had a dream," Ella sobbed, "and they destroyed it." The woman smiled. "And you believe that means the dream is gone?" Ella blinked. "Who were you?" "I," the woman said with a small bow, "am your fairy godmother." Ella stared. "Fairy godmother?" "Yes," she laughed softly, "and I happen to specialize in dreams that need rescuing." She tapped her staff on the ground. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. The magic burst around them. A pumpkin turned into a golden carriage. 4 mice transformed into graceful white horses. A lizard became a footman. A goose became a proud coachman. Then she touched Ella's torn dress. Light folded around her like petals. When the glow faded, Ella stood in a gown made of starlight, blue and silver, shimmering like moonlit water. Her glass slippers gleamed like diamonds. Ella gasped, "It's beautiful!" "One warning," the fairy godmother said. "The magic ends at midnight." Ella nodded. "Now go," said the godmother, "and remember, where there is kindness, there is magic." The palace shimmered like a dream. Chandeliers glowed, violins sang, and nobles from every corner of the kingdom danced in gowns of silk and velvet. But when Ella entered, the entire ballroom fell silent. She glowed soft, elegant, breathtaking, but not because of her dress, but because of her gentle spirit. Prince Aiden saw her and felt something spark in his chest. He approached slowly. "May I have this dance?" Ella curtsied. "You may, Your Highness." They danced across the marble floor, talking softly. "Who are you?" he asked. "Someone who's never been seen before," she replied with a sad smile. They walked through the gardens, laughed by the fountains, and told stories about their dreams. For the first time in years, Ella felt free. But then, boom! The clock struck 12. Ella gasped. "I'm so sorry, I must go." "Wait, I don't even know your name." But she was already running down the steps. Her glass slipper slipped off. She didn't stop. The carriage sped away as the magic unraveled behind her. Prince Aiden held the slipper. "This," he said,
It belongs to the woman I will marry." The king ordered a kingdom-wide search. No maidens fit the slipper, not one. Lady Tremaine heard the news. Her heart froze. She locked Ella in the attic. "You will not ruin my daughter's chances." The royal guards arrived at her home. Drizella tried. Her foot bulged. Anastasia tried. Her heel stuck. Lady Tremaine forced fake smiles. But then, a soft voice called from the stairs. "May I try?" Lady Tremaine's eyes narrowed. "Guards, ignore her. She's no one." But the Duke insisted. Ella descended gracefully. Her dress was old, her hair simple, yet her light, gentle, warm, kind, filled the room. The slipper slid onto her foot perfectly. Then she pulled out the other glass slipper from her pocket. Lady Tremaine's face turned pale. Ella was taken to the palace. Prince Aidan met her halfway, breathless. "It's you," he whispered. "I knew I'd find you." Ella smiled. "And I knew kindness would lead me home." They married under a sky filled with lanterns. The entire kingdom celebrated. Lady Tremaine and her daughters were given a chance to reform, and after years, they learned humility. Ella became princess, and later, queen. But she ruled not with power, but with kindness. She rebuilt schools, cared for orphans, protected the poor, and filled the palace with warmth. Her story became a legend told across generations. A girl once covered in ashes became a queen, not because of magic, but because her heart stayed pure in a world that tried to break it. And so, Cinderella lived happily ever after.